In the year 1284, in the prosperous town of Hamelin, Germany, a terrible plague was about to change everything.
Rats! Rats everywhere! They are eating all my bread! The rats had infested every corner of Hamelin. These were not ordinary rats, but unusually large and bold creatures that feared nothing.
The mayor of Hamelin faced the greatest crisis of his career. His reputation and the town's prosperity hung in the balance.
We must rid our town of these vile creatures. I will pay 1,000 guilders to anyone who can solve this problem.
I am called the Pied Piper. I can rid your town of every single rat, but my price is 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders, yes, yes. Remove these cursed rats and the gold is yours, stranger.
The mysterious flute seemed to be no ordinary instrument. Legends spoke of magical pipes that could enchant any living.
Thousands upon thousands of rats answered the Piper's call. The sight was both horrifying and mesmerizing.
The Piper led the rats beyond the town walls toward the Weser River, which flowed swiftly nearby. The enchanted rats plunged into the cold river waters, unable to resist the Piper's magical
And just like that, Hamelin's terrible plague was ended. The town was free of rats for the first time in months.
The Pied Piper had fulfilled his promise. Now it was time for the mayor to fulfill his.
The people of Hamelin rejoiced. Their town was saved, and life could return to normal. The Pied Piper returned to the town hall to collect his promised payment of 1,000 guilders. But something was wrong. The mayor's expression was not one of gratitude, but of greed and calculation.
The mayor was having second thoughts about parting with 1,000 guilders. Greed was beginning to cloud his judgment.
The Pied Piper's eyes flashed with dangerous warning. This was not a man to be trifled with.
We made a bargain, Mayor. I fulfilled my part. Now you must fulfill yours. Pay me the 1,000 guilders you promised.
Consequences? You dare threaten the mayor of Hamelin? Guards! Escort this charlatan from our town! The guards approached, but the Pied Piper showed no fear. A mysterious smile played across his lips.
Very well, Mayor. You have chosen your path. But remember, I can pipe tunes for different dancers. You will regret this betrayal.
Good riddance. That strange fellow was probably a fraud anyway. We saved ourselves a fortune. But Mayor, the stranger kept his word about the rats. Perhaps we should reconsider. His warning sounded genuine. Reconsider? Never! I am the mayor and my decision is final. Now this meeting is adjourned.
That night, Hamelin slept peacefully, unaware of the doom approaching. The townspeople believed
Dawn broke on what seemed like an ordinary morning. But the people of Hamelin would soon discover that this day would be remembered forever.
The children of Hamelin slept innocently, unaware that their lives would soon change forever. The Pied Piper had returned, but this time his tune would be very different. The Pied Piper raised his magical flute once more, but this time the tune he played would not be for rats.
The melody that flowed from the flute was even more beautiful than before. Hauntingly.
throughout the town, every child heard the piper's call. The melody was eerie. The children rose from their beds as if in a trance, unable to resist the magical music calling to them.
Thomas! Thomas! Come back! Where are you going? The children saw nothing but the beautiful music, heard nothing but the piper's call.
the square filled with Hamelin's children, all under the Piper's spell. Their desperate parents could do nothing but watch in horror.
Thomas, son!
It's me, your father. Please wake up. Fight the magic. But the Piper did not stop playing. The time for payment had passed. Now the mayor would pay a different price.
My baby! Please, not my baby! Thomas, come back to me!
The Piper led the children beyond the town walls toward the distant Koppelberg mountain.
The procession wound through the countryside, the piper's tune never faltering, the children never Even Hans, the lame boy who walked with a crutch, could not resist the piper's call. He struggled to keep Then, as if by magic, the mountain itself opened before them.
The doorway revealed a tunnel filled with the most beautiful lights and colors imaginable. To the enchanted children,
One by one, the children of Hamelin walked into the mountain. Their parents watched helplessly from a distance. Little Hans struggled on his crutch, trying desperately to keep up with the other children. The magic pulled him forward.
Hans reached the doorway just as the magic began to fade. He lunged forward desperately, but he was too late.
The parents of Hamelin were left with nothing but grief and solid stone. Their children were...
The mothers mourned their lost children. The town that had been so prosperous and proud was now broken by sorrow.
In the days that followed, Hamelin became a town of silence and sorrow, where once children's laughter filled.
The mayor, once so proud and greedy, was destroyed by guilt. He had sacrificed the town's future for a bag of gold he never even kept.
The doorway opened in the mountain, filled with rainbow lights. The piper walked in, and all the children followed.
The adults believed Hans, for they had seen the children walk as if enchanted. They knew magical forces were at work.
Hamelin became a town in permanent mourning.
The people prayed for their children's return, but the mountain remained silent. They prayed for forgiveness.
The memorial was placed on the town hall wall, a permanent reminder of the price of greed and broken.
Grieving parents carved their children's names into the mountain stone, marking the place where their beloved ones vanished. Parents visited the mountain daily, leaving flowers and prayers, hoping against hope that somehow their children might return. Hans grew up alone, the only child in a town of adults. He never forgot his friends who walked into the mountain. Their absence shaped his entire life.
Every day, Hans looked toward the Koppelberg Mountain and wondered about his friends. Were they happy?
Winter came to Hamelin, bringing snow but no joy. Where once children would have played in the white drifts, now only silence reigned.
The baker still made his bread, but with no children to enjoy his sweet pastries, his heart was no longer in it.
New laws were written in Hamelin. All promises must be kept. All agreements must be honored. The
The laws were sealed and became official. Hamelin would be forever known as the town that learned the hardest lesson about keeping promises.
Travelers who came to Hamelin noticed immediately that something was terribly wrong. A town with no children was... We had children once, sir. Over 100 beautiful children. But we broke a promise to a magical... The merchant could hardly believe the tale, but looking at the empty streets and the townspeople's grief, he... Travelers carried the tale of Hamelin to distant lands.
And that, my dears, is why you must always keep your promises, no matter how difficult. The Piper...
The tale became a favorite story to teach children about honesty and keeping promises.
Years passed.
And slowly, very slowly, Hamelin began to heal. New mothers made sure to teach their children the story of the Pea Piper. They would never allow Hamelin to forget the price of broken promises.
Street. The memorial remained, a stone testimony to that fateful day in 1284. The Koppelberg Mountain stood unchanged through centuries, keeping its secrets. What happened to the children?
The real town of Hamelin exists today in Germany. A beautiful medieval town that has embraced its legendary past.
Historical plaques throughout Hamelin tell the story of the Pea Piper. Whether based on true events or pure legend, the tale has endured for over 7 centuries.
Remember always, keep your promises, honor your word, for the price of betrayal is terrible. And so the tale passed from generation to generation, taught by the last witness. Hans lived to be...
The earliest written accounts of the legend date back to the 14th century. Medieval chroniclers recorded the event.
The tale of the Piper in every...
Today, children around the world still read the tale of the Pied Piper, learning the timeless lesson. Keep your...
The story is taught in schools as both literature and history, a cautionary tale that bridges the gap between legend and reality.
The tale has become a bedtime story, teaching children about integrity and consequences in a way they can understand and remember.
The moral complexity of the tale makes it enduring. There are no simple heroes or villains, only consequences.
The Koppelberg Mountain stands eternal, witness to centuries of human stories.
Today, the Koppelberg Mountain is a popular hiking destination.
But even as families hike, plaques along the trail tell the story, ensuring visitors remember the legend.
From the summit, one can see all of Hamelin spread below.
ENCHANTED. Hamelin has a museum dedicated to the Pied Piper legend, displaying historical documents and artistic interpretations.
The first written reference to the event appeared in 1384, exactly 100 years after the...
Today, Hamelin's economy benefits from the legend. Thousands of tourists visit annually, drawn by the mysterious tale.
Gift shops sell Pied Piper merchandise, turning tragedy into commerce. Some find this distasteful.
For children, the Pied Piper is simply a fascinating fairy tale. They delight in the magical elements without fully grasping the dark moral underneath.
The Weser River still flows past Hamelin, its waters the same that supposedly drowned the rat.
Life continues in Hamelin. People are born, live, love, and die. The town is no longer defined. The church bells ring as they have for centuries, calling people to reflection.
Hamelin today is a place of life, of families and commerce. Parents still bring their children to the memorial stone, teaching the lesson of keeping promises. The stone and the children understand. In their way, they learn that promises are sacred, that words have power. The mountain stands silent in the night, keeping its secrets, if secrets there are. Some say that somewhere, the Pied Piper's flute still exists, waiting.
Under the same stars that witnessed the events of 1284, if events there were, Hamelin.
And so the tale of the Pied Piper of Hamelin endures,
told and retold across centuries and continents.
The legend reminds us that promises are sacred trusts, that debts of honor must be paid, that action...
And still, children reach for the book, drawn by the colorful cover and magical promise.
Once upon a time, in the year 1284, in a prosperous German town called Hamelin, and so the story begins again, passed from generation to generation, a gift and a warning wrapped together.